Hey guys, Dr. Ben Galyardt here, author of the book Rebuild Your Brain, Stop the Damage, Start the Repair. And I am the owner and doctor here at the Functional Medicine Center of Fort Collins. And today I want to go over a little information on digestion. This is a very common thing we see with patients. Almost every person that comes in that's dealing with a brain issue, that's dealing with an autoimmune issue, anything at all, they've got digestion issues going on. Why? Because it's a global perspective when digestion gets out of balance. So what are these top 5 things that we find with patients that are contributing to the digestion distress, digestion disturbances, and what's causing these for a lot of people? Well, one of the first ones that happens, and this is what is actually almost every autoimmune patient, almost every inflammatory patient we see, is what's called leaky gut. Leaky gut is in the small intestine where that lining is not controlling and keeping things out like it should. We have tight junctions, we've got damage to that gut lining, a lot of different things that can happen where we're absorbing things into the bloodstream too soon. That can be foods, that can be different infections, pathogens, all types of different things get into that bloodstream too soon, and the body's creating this reaction. But we're also going to not feel well when that's happening, and it's going to drive, especially for people with Crohn's, with ulcerative colitis, any of these autoimmune or inflammatory conditions, it's going to drive that process as well. So there's a lot of different ways that you need to go about helping to heal up that leaky gut. We've got the 4 R's: rebuild, repair, re-inoculate, and then remove. So that's another video that I've done. You can get in depth into that one, but leaky gut, huge part of the process. It's not just as simple as taking a glutamine. It's not just as simple as taking a probiotic. A lot of different things that you can do to get into that one. Then number 2, we get into infections. Infections very common to be contributing to gut distress, and some of the common ones we see: H. pylori. H. pylori is a bacteria that is primarily causing ulcers in people, but in over 80% of the population, it's actually in the small intestine, not just in the stomach where the ulcers are. So if that H. pylori is in the small intestine, it's going to be contributing to more damage to that small intestine lining, the leaky gut. We're going to see elevated neutrophils in the blood work because those go up with bacterial infections. A lot of times we'll see decreased white blood cell count from that chronic infection. So some very important things that we need to look at there. A lot of times we'll have some bad bacteria, some yeast, some pathogens like parasites, all types of different things that can contribute to this imbalance. A stool test is a great way to get a good idea as far as what's out of balance in that gut and what infections are out of balance. The vagus nerve, number 3, cranial nerve 10 comes out of the base of the brain and it goes to the heart, to the lungs, different things. But cranial nerve 10 is also going to the sphincters, so between the esophagus and the stomach. So people that have chronic indigestion, heartburn, reflux, anything coming up that way, it could be that sphincter's not working like it should. The other place is between the small intestine and the large intestine, the ileocecal valve. If this isn't closing and opening like it should, it's going to contribute to that as well, where if somebody has SIBO, small intestine bacterial overgrowth, they could kill off all the bad stuff in the small intestine, but within 6 months it's going to be back because that sphincter still isn't closing. The bad stuff's able to get in the small intestine and create a lot of damage there. It also contributes, the vagus nerve contributes to motility, which is that wave-like contraction, almost like a snake moving a mouse through itself. That's what is supposed to happen in our digestive tract, but for a lot of people, we don't do that. We just can't get things moving like it should. So vagus nerve, a lot of great ways to stimulate that, cranial nerve 10. Then we've got the microbiome. We touched on that a second ago in the infections, but that microbiome is that good bacteria and that bad bacteria. And so we are definitely looking at it's not just as easy as taking a probiotic. What happens a lot of times is we've got the bad stuff too high, the good stuff too low, and people try to take that probiotic, but it's not enough. You have to knock down the bad stuff first and then bring in the good stuff. Sometimes we have to do this 2 or 3 times depending on the intensity and severity of that microbiome imbalance. So another big part of it is that microbiome. And then the last one, number 5, we talk about the sympathetic dominant state. So remember when you were a kid and mom or whoever at the picnic would say, don't eat your lunch and then go swimming out in the lake or at the pool or whatever. Why? Because we could get cramps and potentially drown would be the thing. So what happens is our blood flow is going to go, if we're more in that fight or flight, out to our extremities, muscles, different things like that, and away from the digestive tract. If we're in a parasympathetic, that resting, digesting, the blood's going to go more towards our digestive tract. So if someone's in this constant sympathetic state, if they have high alpha in their brain map, a lot of these different issues that are going to be driving that sympathetic dominant state, then you know what? We're not going to be able to digest as well as we should, and that's going to create a lot of different problems with gas, bloating, food sitting in the digestive tract too long, all these different things. So these are some of the top 5 things that we see in patients. I have other videos to get more in depth on that. Like or share this if you know somebody that is dealing with digestion issues. Very, very crucial for almost every condition in the body to go into that digestive tract deep and figure out what is going on and where these imbalances are coming from. If you have any questions, feel free to send us a comment or shoot us an email or call us. Otherwise, like and share anybody that you know that's dealing with digestion. Love to help these people. It changes their lives and we're able to see some phenomenal results. Have a great day.